We who are about to die, salute you!
Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here. And let's wake up the football gods. Those guys up there that are still around, the greatest of the great of the Dallas Cowboys, probably are feeling like I feel right now. That is let down, disgusted, and at a loss for words. Something that's usually not a problem of mine, of being lost for words. This, I don't even know where to begin. Now, first of all, let me say, for everybody out there that says, see, you talk, no, I never talked about Super Bowl. I said we have a rookie head coach. We have a lot of new players. We've got the fourth defensive coordinator. The fourth? Third defensive coordinator in 3 years. And you have a lot of new players. You're a young team that there's going to be a learning curve. That a 9, 10, 11 win season would be a success. You're the third youngest team. Your offensive line is completely rebuilt. And you got rid of your best defensive player a week before the season started. So I'm trying to figure out, do I blame Matt Everfuss for the debacle of the season? Or do I look at it and say, he was dealt a bad hand when you lose your best player that you were planning on all season? And then everything that could go wrong as far as your secondary did go wrong. Jordan Lewis has already got 2 interceptions so far in 3 games. He was one of the most underrated slot corners in the NFL. Cowboys decided we're not going to pay him. I got no problem with letting people go if there's a plan. They counted on Deron Bland, who is beginning to end up showing problems of staying healthy. Missed 10 games last year. He's a difference maker. We played a lot better the first week with him being there. Then he gets the ankle. Now he's not there. The Diggs situation was completely mismanaged, where there's a lot of animosity between Diggs and the Dallas Cowboys. And I think the Cowboys, from the reality of paying him his contract and getting nothing in dividends, it seemed like from the time Diggs got his contract, that's when he got injured and missed time. It's been years since Diggs was the same guy. He may never be the same guy that he was. And as far as the Cowboys go with the way they've treated him like that, I'm sure this will be the last year of Diggs. And the thing is what you've had is the Cowboys going through and saying, you're a piece of crap. You should have been here. You would have been ready. And you got Diggs trying to man up and show you were wrong. I'm going to be ready. And in both cases, it screwed up the interest of the team. Clearly, Diggs was not ready to come back. Without the training camp, without everything behind it, they figured we can just plug him in. He's going to be good to go. And it was fool's gold with the 26 plays that he had week 1 against the Eagles. Because then you turned around, let's go from 26 to playing in overtime. His body wasn't ready for it. Now you got a hurt shoulder along with a bad knee. There you have that. Ceylon Carson, who left a lot to be desired last year, knee injury. He's recovering. They decided we're going to draft one cornerback, but we're going to go ahead and get the discount pile with Savon Ravel. And, they've been excited about the idea that he's going to come off of IR after the Green Bay game. So a guy who couldn't go through training camp, hasn't played since September in college, has no NFL experience, he's going to be our savior. And then everybody, of course, yesterday was looking and saying, where's Clowney? Where's Clowney? Like he is the savior, that automatically that Clowney being there is going to turn everything around because Clowney is going to be defensive MVP. He's not that guy anymore, if he ever was. Here's what you should feel like. This is 2020 all over again. To let you know how it was just a bad game or two. Russell Wilson had 160 yards passing week 1 against the Commanders. We get into a shootout with Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson gets 450 yards. 450 yards. God, it hurts. And then yesterday or last night, he gets 168. 160, 450, Cowboys, 168. That's a pattern. That's a pattern. And it starts because we have the polar opposite before, because the polar opposite before was we couldn't stop the run, so everybody ran at us and didn't pass much. Better at stopping the run, but you can't get a pass rush. And the defense looks predictable with lesser talents in the zone, and quarterbacks are picking it apart. You're giving up more big plays than anybody. This is, like I said, 2020 all over again with Mike Nolan. And Mike Nolan was the one-year guy who was ass. Mike Nolan's defense started out first game of the season against the Rams, where we only gave up 20 points. Okay? That's kind of like the Eagles game. But from that point forward, 39 to Atlanta, 38 to Seattle, 49 to Cleveland, 34 to the Giants, 38 to Arizona. People. And then finally started clamping down a little bit and kept Washington at 25. That's every game in order. That's what that defense was. And I don't know that there is no quick fix at this point. Everybody's saying, well, fire Mac Eberflus. Well, the scheme is the scheme we got right now. You can tweak it, but you've been working all offseason on this. To start over, although maybe it doesn't matter if you start over at this point. There was nothing redeeming. And the problem is if the Cowboys can't get a better rush, and the problem is, I get it with the Micah Parsons thing. And I'm not sure that just having Micah Parsons is going to make this defense not give up that much in the secondary. There's catastrophic design problems with the secondary. There's problems on all of the lines on the defense. You can't get pass rush. You got no sacks yesterday. Williams had all day. And I'm wondering, we have to look at it. Unfortunately, the Cowboys, second-round picks. I hate myself. I hate being this guy. I hate all of the negativity, man. I hate that this is just week number 3 and we look completely inept. You wait all off season. You hope, you pray. You look at each one of these players and say how they fit in and say, well, this helps the team because this guy, is better, of course, at the run. And, Sam Williams is a guy who's 6'4". He was running like a 4.5 40. He's strong. He is prototypical of design. If you were to say in a lab, what are the things you want from an edge rusher? You say you want length. He's 6'4". Got that. Check. You look at that and you say you want size. Okay. Yeah. So he's 260 pounds. Check. Got that. You want speed. Okay. Yeah. He's got 4.5. Check that. You want aggression. Yeah. You want him to be a little bit edgy. He's got that. Check. But somehow it doesn't translate on the field of being that guy. I don't understand that one. Now, maybe it's because, the Cowboys, I honestly think the Cowboys need to say, the guy's got an ACL, it's a 2-year injury. We're going to lose a year. He's not going to be on the field. We cannot look at this and say, he is penciled in as our starter. There. The best you can say, he's going to be a role player because we're going to bring him back and get them ready to go instead of saying, they're not going to be ready for training camp. If they're not going to be ready for training camp, then don't count on them being ready for the season. Because we did that with Michael Gallup because Michael Gallup may be ready at training camp at some point. Oh, Michael Gallup will be ready to start the season. Well, Michael Gallup has now got the pressure of being on the field because he sees that you didn't plan for him not being out there. So he rushes back with a knee that's not ready, and instead of being able to recover, it gets worse and loses confidence. And we continue the same pattern with Terrence Steele, with Michael Gallup, now Sam Williams, and Diggs twice now. Depth is the key. And it's got to be quality depth. I don't know where we go from here. I hope the Cowboys just don't make some knee-jerk decision that just exacerbates the problem and loses the draft capital that we have. If you're going to trade something, by God, all means, please trade second-round draft picks because I don't see shit that is helping the team from the second round. I just don't. Whether it's Boss Man Fat, whether it's Schoonmaker, whether it's Sam Williams, you can go down the line of guys that just aren't helping the team with the second round. By all means, hold on to the first round draft picks because that's about the only thing that this team gets right is the damn first round draft picks. Without CeeDee Lamb, and CD says he'll be ready this week. Okay. All right, we'll see. George Pickens, without CD, George Pickens didn't speak to the media after the game. It was ugly. And to make matters worse, I ended up making my bed, and I got to lie in it. Because the Eagles looked like roadkill, and I fell for it. I fell for it. I said, finally, maybe I can go in on the Dan Leo show with the Eagles having a loss, because I know the Cowboys go in. Cowboys got to be able to beat the Bears. They got to be able to beat the Bears. This is bad news, Bears.
4 picks against Grossman and 2 fumbles. What do you see about the Bears? We shut them down that way?
No, we just the Bears are what we thought they were. They're what we thought they were. We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in the preseason like it's bull? We played them in the third game. Everybody played 3 quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Crown their ass.
Thanks, Coach.
Crown their ass.
It's a disappointed coach.
It's a disappointed fan base. So, after the games, George Pickens declined comment, didn't say anything. Diggs said the issues in the secondary are not about communications, but execution. CeeDee Lamb thinks he can play next week, and Jerry Jones kind of reiterated that. But Jerry Jones also said, we're a playoff team. So there's that. People, I got one piece of good news. We got nowhere to go but up. And Dak Prescott pulled in the fourth quarter. Of course, everybody looks at him and ignores all the other problems. Everything. Trade Dak. Get rid of Dak. Dak's all your problems.
How do you explain performance like this?
It's hard to right now, honestly.
It's hard to.
I've got to go look at it from the offensive standpoint. I know scoring 14 points is never going to be okay. Dang sure not with this offense, this unit, the team, the players that we have. And 6 of those were field goals. So not acceptable, not to our standard, not anywhere in what we believe in and what we're capable of doing. And got away quick, and had a chance right there to cut it back to 10, and had a turnover in the red zone. That's unacceptable.
How much did losing Lamb hurt you guys and affect the way they cover Pickens?
Obviously, you lose a player like CD, it hurts, and it's hard to substitute that. When you've got the players that we've got, we're wondering anyways how teams are going to play us. So then when you lose a guy like that, maybe it made their game plan a lot easier from their standpoint to, double George, Cloud George, what they did early. He was still able to make some plays. But yeah, you can't. It's tough. It's tough to win a game when you lose a player like CD, for sure.
Dak, Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. What has to be the message coming off of a game like this where you feel as if you weren't sufficient in either of the main categories against this team?
Yeah, everybody individually has got to be accountable, got to look at themselves in the mirror, ask what can they do and what can I do better throughout the week in my preparation to make sure that we come out here and we play better from the beginning and we start faster. We've got to go out there and score and not give field goals. Aubrey's a hell of a kicker and he's a great asset for us, but we can't lean on him. We can't get down in the red zone and say, oh yeah, we got a field goal, we're fine. No, we've got to go get points. We've got to go get 7 points and cash in. And so everybody's just got to look at themselves and say, where can I get better and where can I help this team individually? And then if we all do that collectively, we should put ourselves in a better position than we did today.
And given that their secondary...
Excuse me. Hold on. Nick's next. Thank you.
Nick Egan, DallasCowboys.com. Ferguson had 14 targets, 13 catches. Was that what Chicago was kind of given, or was that sort of a game plan to go in and try to get him the ball?
No, it's definitely what they were given. We're never mad if Ferg's going to have that many targets. Obviously, we'd want to win the game. But when you've got guys like George and CD out there, we're expecting them to, give us cloud, to double those guys on the outside, and it's going to take Ferg winning inside. And he did that for the most part. We just weren't able to cash in. We weren't able to score touchdowns, and they were on the other side.
Do you understand the decision at the end to put in Joe? Or you've told us before you want every rep.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously I want every rep. Never happy about getting pulled out, but, you've got to be realistic and professional, understanding that where the game was, I had a chance right there, as I said, to go score in the red zone, and we didn't. And at that point, it was, 3-score game with 2 minutes left. And it's a young season. As hard-headed as I am, and I want to get out there and get every rep, those guys are teeing off in the rush, right? And I want to stay healthy and want to be healthy, and I'm sure that was a big part of that decision there. So, yeah, I understood it.
Okay. Just given their secondary came in, they were pretty banged up, no Keanu Johnson, no Carly Ford, and just given that, how surprised were you that you weren't able to get more shots down the field?
I mean, they were dropping. They were getting a lot of depth that allowed for underneath throws, which we got. We've just got to be able to stay on the field, convert third downs, not put ourselves in some of those 3rd and 7 plus. Obviously, that's plays to their benefit. But when you lose a guy like CD for one, and they can play as soft as they want because just keeping everything in front of them, it's always going to be tough.
Calvin Watkins, considering what happened last week, a lot of points, those things are different, obviously. How surprised are you without seeing that really couldn't get going offensively?
Yeah, I was definitely surprised. As I said, we got to go down there and cash in the red zone. Penalties right there, false starts, things like that. Hurt us, pushed us back there. They scored, right? They scored to go up, and then we get the ball back with a little bit of time left in the end of the first half, and right, we don't convert like we did in the end of last game, right, to give ourselves a chance to kick a field goal, and then we come out and 3 and out, or maybe we got one first down there, and at the start of the second drive, and then you look up and the game's pulling away from you, and that's tough when you're playing an offense that looked like they're getting hot right there. They've got playmakers and they're making plays, and we weren't able to get them off the field. It's tough as a unit. It's tough to play complementary football together, and it's just tough. It's tough when you've got to be one-dimensional on offense.
I apologize if you were asked this earlier, but on the fumble, did you think that it was clean? Because I don't know if he got both feet in.
I honestly, I was so far behind the play. I was sticking a finger up thinking that it was a big play, and then wasn't even sure of what happened. And honestly, still haven't. I haven't seen the play necessarily. I don't even know how it went down. I have no idea.
On the interception in the end zone, can you talk about what you saw and what happened there?
Yeah, good little crossing pattern, play we're very comfortable with. Thought I had GP was going to come clean. He got bumped up off his route, almost pushed toward the back of the end zone, and then I came back, right, Tolbert's going to the back pylon. Had a guy in my face, didn't step into it, threw it well short, and probably one of the easiest interceptions of that guy's career. Just got to step into that. And on 4th down, it's a throw that I probably would try, like normally you're making over the top, and I was not trying to throw it out the back of the end zone and left it way short, and easy interception.
Is it demoralizing, though, having to keep up with an offense? Obviously you play a complementary football, but you watch them and they're scoring it easy, and it seems like it's hard for you guys to score. You have to take underneath stuff too.
When you're looking like ass and it'll make it look easy.
I wouldn't say anything in this game's demoralizing. It's hard. It's frustrating. But I love that. That's what life's about. Is adversity, fighting back, being, not being in the best position and trusting yourself and trusting others around you. And I think just as a team, we've got to be better in that position. We've got to be better when things get hard. I'm not going to get overwhelmed that, it doesn't seem like we can stop them. I believe in our offense, and I don't think people can stop us. And I think you can even go back and look at these possessions. We stopped ourselves, whether it be interceptions, right? Whether off the hands or my interception late or the fumble early. I don't know if they've done a lot to stop us, honestly, and that's what's frustrating. It's not looking at the other side and being down that they're not getting stops. It's more of we're biting ourselves and we're kicking ourselves, and that's the reason that we're not converting to touchdowns. It's the reason that we're not getting first downs, and so it's got to start there. And that's why I said everybody's got to look in the mirror and say, how can I be better? Because I know we're capable of scoring, and if we've got to score like it is last week, we're going to do that. I don't get to play defense, and that's not how this game works. And the guys on offense don't. We've got to play offense to the best of our ability, regardless.
All righty, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're in hell right now. There's no way else to put it. And we got the Green Bay Packers Micah Parsons and crew coming. Green Bay, who last week was anointed the best Green Bay team ever, lost to the Cleveland Browns. So there's that. I don't know where we go from here. I guess one way to look at it is the 2020 season was terrible, but it did end up bringing higher draft picks that we were able to get Micah Parsons, and we ended up having 3 good seasons after that. And that looks to be, this is short-term pain, hopefully for long-term gain. But, we've got other problems that we have to deal with, and that's still dealing with the front office and the mom and pop shop. Alrighty, good people. I've got some work to do on my house here to get done, and I've got a lot of contemplating about this season to do. As always, I appreciate you guys, and maybe I'll feel a little bit better later on. Peace out.